Started. Woo-hoo. Well, welcome everybody on Tuesday, June the 9th. I can't believe it. This year, in some respects, it has gone along like we're just slogging along. And on the other hand, it's like this is June. I can't even get over it. When I was a kid, it took forever between Christmases. Now you just blink an eye and it's the year's half over. Crazy.
Crazy. It is crazy. Hey, everybody. I'm excited. I'm excited about our topic tonight. But, first of all, we would like to start our meeting out with prayer requests. Does anybody have a prayer request for themselves personally or for a friend or somebody that you don't even want to mention, but you just know that we need to be in prayer for somebody? Okay, Kim?
A good friend of mine and Nora's, Mary Farrell, is going in for open heart surgery on Friday morning.
Oh.
So just have a nice little prayer that everything goes okay.
Okay. What's her, Mary what? Farrow? Okay. I'm writing her name down. Anybody else?
Say Mary. God knows. Right?
And then anybody have anything they want to crow about? Something that's going on in your business that you're super excited about? That should be everybody, right?
Yeah.
Nora.
I got something exciting.
All right.
I have something bizarre. Do you want me to go first? Or
Yeah, you go ahead. Go ahead. And then
okay.
We'll
something very bizarre. With all the unrest and the protests and riots and whatnot going on, we've had a group here in our city, in Alpharetta, that's been very peaceful. And every day, they've been out there every day. And there was one woman who was a customer, bought a miracle set for me like maybe 3 years ago, never heard from her again. And maybe in late March, she texted me, hey, I need my foundation. Like, okay. Finally connected with her last week to give her the foundation. And so we just kind of reconnected again. So I gave her a sample of the new miracle set because it's been a while and all is well. Sunday, she posts on her Facebook page that she had a horrible sunburn. Now she's a woman of color, but she burned bad, blistered, whole 9 yards, and she's asking for help from people. Now, I didn't read it until late that night, but I wrote around there, oh my gosh, you need to talk to me. I've got the perfect product for you. So I said, I'll call you in the morning. So I called her Monday. And she said, well, I went out and bought all the aloe plants like everybody said. She said, if this doesn't work, I'll call you. It's about 3 o'clock today. I get a phone call from her. I need you. Please come. So I took all of my after sun care, all of my lip balms, all of the I just took it all in a little bag and headed over to the little protest group. Unfortunately, I know, like, I'll sell it to anybody anywhere. But the heavens opened, so they moved and they weren't there anymore. And I ended up meeting her at her apartment. But bottom line, she bought a sunscreen, the sun gel, replenishing gel. And then I brought her a lip balm. I said, you need this. You got to protect your lips. And she went on, I use chapstick. I'm like, no, you're going to use this. So she put it on. She's okay. I need another one right now for my son. And she said, I'm going to call you tomorrow because I'm telling everybody else on the line what this is. So I have a feeling I'm going to be running out of my replenishing gel. So very strange, but I found a little niche in this case.
And you were available. You that's the thing, I think, is, being ready, being available, and like, sure, I can be over there in whatever time it took you to get there instead of going, when next week is a good time to get together. Well, next week, is over with.
Too late, yeah.
Congratulations, because I think that's awesome. And it is fun to pick up those random customers that you just have no clue why God sent them to you, but there's a reason and you'll find it. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Good for you, Nora. Yay!
Post something. Protesting? Be sure to use your SPF. Make your little post about it. I mean, hey, whatever. That's great.
Exactly. Okay. And Bretta, you said you had something you wanted to share. Oh, where'd she go? Oh, DF2YMEZP. Yeah, there you are. Bretta, are you there? She may have stepped away for a minute.
I'm trying to unmute her and she's not unmuting, so.
Oh, she must have muted herself. Well, we'll come back to her. Anybody else have something you want to share? Denise.
Edie does. Okay. Where is she?
There
I'm there. I just had to unmute. The puppy started barking, so I wanted to mute. I'm starting on my office this next week.
Yay!
Yeah.
That's exciting. Denise moved into a new home of what 6 months ago? Maybe
July of last year.
Last year.
Oh
Oh
my
my gosh, you've almost been there a year. How can
Yeah.
that? And she's got a friend that's building an office for her in her garage, which will be awesome. Somebody just posted their garage. Melody Lemon completely did a garage redo and put her Mary Kay office out there, and it was awesome, just awesome. So very good. That's exciting.
Good deal.
I love the mute claps. Okay, anybody else have something to share? Okay, well then Susan and I do, because we're going to share some of the best advice that we've accumulated in our 63 plus years cumulative. Crazy. How can that be?
No, it can't be crazy. That is really crazy. 63 years of experience between the two of us. Oh my gosh.
And we've had a lot of advice along the way, I will have to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Teresa, you go first. Give your first one.
Okay, I think, I toyed with which really is my number one, and I'm going to come back to the one that just always resounds with me, is being consistent. It is the key to success, you guys, in this business is consistency. I think it's the key in life is to be consistent with things. And one of the quotes that I've always loved is, the secret to your success lies in your daily routine. And so I think that if you're doing something in your business every day, because business is the key word, and that's kind of a whole nother topic, that you're treating this business as a business, and you all wouldn't be on here tonight if you weren't seriously treating your business like a business and showing up and communicating and plugging in. But every day, what are you doing in your business to take you where you want to go? So being consistent every day, every week, every month, if you're going to work it an hour a week, then work it consistently an hour a week. If you're going to work it 10 hours a week, then figure out when are you open and when are you closed, and then be consistent. And I really think that is a critical component, because a lot of people, they zoom and then they eek, and then they zoom and then they eek. And I think we've all done that, right? I mean, we kind of just go, and then we, okay, be consistent. Okay, that's it for me. That's my number one. Susan?
Okay, I don't have these in any particular order, but one that I want to start off with is to behave as if Mary Kay herself is in the room. And I take that to mean be classy. And, we've heard that before. We had Heather Faring was the number one director, and she talked about the very same thing, that you are representing all of us all the time. You can't take your Mary Kay hat off really any more than you can take off your mom hat or your wife hat. You are all that all the time. And so I think that when we go out into the community, even if we're not wearing our pin and we're not thinking Mary Kay business, you still are Mary Kay to the world. And in the way your car looks, is it filthy? Do you have inappropriate bumper stickers? Are you posting classy, uplifting things on your Facebook page, or are you getting all political and all questionable and those types of things? Are you like I said, whether you're wearing your pin or not, you are Mary Kay. You may be the only Mary Kay anybody ever knows, just like you might be the only Bible anybody ever reads. And so stand out in that way, so that when you walk into a room, people that do know you might say, oh, there's the Mary Kay lady. There's Teresa, she's with Mary Kay. And so people will kind of go, well, yeah, obviously, look at her. Look at the way she behaves, the way she speaks. And so that's always kind of been a big deal for me. It's image and attitude and behaving as if Mary Kay were right alongside you. Would she be proud? So that was one of my best bits of advice in the last 32 years. Teresa?
Absolutely. This piece of advice came from my senior director, Lucinda Utley. And when 6 months, within 3 to 6 months of coming into Mary Kay, I knew I wanted to go into management. I knew I wanted to be a sales director. I just knew that being a leader in this business would better me, would make a better me. And so that's what I said I was going to do for about 2 years after that. I'm going to be a director, going to be a director, going to be a director, going to be a director. And I never stopped saying that, but I wasn't really making inroads towards it. And so I remember right after I quit my job, basically, it was kind of a mutual agreement, but I quit my job to do Mary Kay full time after 2.5 years. And I sat down with Lucinda and I said, okay, give me something magic. Give me some magic advice. And she said, focus on the effort and the results will happen. It was as simple as that. And Lucinda, if anybody knows Lucinda, she's a pretty simple, straightforward, shoots from the hip kind of person. And she said, all you have to do is just focus on the effort. And that's really what I went home and did. I got out every profile card. That was in the days that we had profile cards. Some of you may still do that. But I got out every profile card. I started A through Z and I called every single person and I said, I am in management training to be a Mary Kay sales director. And I'd love to have about 30 minutes of your time just to share some facts about the business. This may or may not be something for you, but I would just consider it a privilege and an honor to get your opinion of our business plan. And, if it's something for you, that's great. If it's not something for you, you'll know a little bit more about why I do what I do. And if you'll allow me that time, I'll give you anything you want at that appointment for half price. And if you decide that this is something you want to do, then you'll be able to get your products at half price for the rest of your life. And you know what? Everybody told me yes, that I called, and I ended up being a sales director within 6 months of that one decision. It's just getting on the phone, focusing on the effort, and the results did happen. It was just consistent effort. So thank you, Lucinda Utley. And that's one of my very favorite pieces of advice.
Okay, that's a good one. I did the very same thing. That's how I became a director. So I used that very same script, took the little career moves video cassette, little VHS.
Yep.
And I just said, do you have a VCR? And everybody said yes to listen. And I think we just make it harder than it needs to be. Just ask. Just ask. So that would be another one. Just ask. But that's not mine. What I was going to say, you reminded me of one when I was probably a red jacket. And I remember thinking about directorship and getting all panicked about all that I didn't know how to do. And I thought, oh God, I can't do that. I don't know how to do a newsletter. I don't know how to conduct a meeting. And I started getting all worried about the things that were beyond even where I was. I was a red jacket and I was becoming paralyzed with fear. And my director said, and probably most of you on here know it, just be the best consultant you can be. And what that meant to me was to book and coach and hold the parties and rebook and share the opportunity and be great at customer service, all the things that I'd been taught to do. I just needed to do that more and become an expert and a professional beauty consultant. And if I did all of those things, I would become a director by default, because our business isn't hard. It's a pretty simple plan. When you do these things and do them well, you really can't help but move on up their career path. So instead of worrying about what I didn't know how to do, and I need to give myself that same advice today. I think, well, I don't know how to be a national. Well, just be the best director I can be the best senior consultant you can be, or the best red jacket you can be. And all of that will come to pass just by taking Mary Kay's career path and being excellent where you are. And that would just kind of make the next step just sort of happen. So be the best consultant you can be, and the rest will follow.
That's a good one. That's always a reminder, I think, that when you're caught all up in it, you can fall back on being the best consultant. Because you know what? No matter where we are on the career path, I think we all know what that means, right? I mean, don't we know what being a good consultant means? Okay, this one is pretty simple, but it's frustration always precedes growth. And so no matter where you are in your business, and I hope you know where you are in your business. I think that kind of goes hand in hand. You know, do you have a goal? Do you have a plan? Are you headed somewhere? You know, is it whatever? Is it something that you can physically manifest and see in your brain? And I'm kind of going off on another tangent, but you got to be headed someplace, first of all. You got to know where you're going. But along that path, you will get frustrated. You will sometimes want to just throw in the towel. It's just not working. Things are just not happening. And those are the best places you can be sometimes. And you have to stop when you're there and go, okay, Lord, what is it that I'm supposed to learn here? Because when you're frustrated, you have two choices. You can either fall back and go, I'm done. Okay, I'll quit. You know, it's not working for me. I'm just not cut out to be a Mary Kay consultant. I'm not cut out to be a director. Or you can go, okay, I've got to learn a lesson here. And so you can, you know, you can grow through it, or you can retreat from it. And those are the obstacles that are in your path to help you grow into that next level and into that next step. And so I think there's a cycle that you go through, and the first few times that you hit that, that's really when you need to call somebody, you know, your sales director, you know, somebody who's done what you want to do, and get advice from them. But grow through that. When you're frustrated, realize that this is a growth spurt, and then you will grow once you learn what it is that you need to learn and put that into practice. Suze?
That's awesome. That's an awesome one. Okay, here's another one. My business will never be made or broken by one customer or one recruit prospect. And that was advice and a lesson that I had to learn more than once in 32 years, because, you know, if you've been around any length of time at all, you've probably experienced going to a guest event and seeing your customer come in with somebody else, or, you know, you had big high hopes that someone was going to join your team and that was going to be the one to put you in your car, and something didn't work and they backed out. So you just have to stop, take a deep breath. As Teresa said, what am I supposed to learn from this? But also figure God must have a better idea. And that God's got a better idea. It's something that I have taught my children and everybody in my family, you know. So it's like, well, it gives me peace to know that things happen for a reason. And that I remember I had a business coach once, and he said, you need to just do your very best, you know, being that best consultant you can be, share that opportunity with people, for example. And he said, if she's meant to be on your team, you can start speaking Chinese in the middle of the interview and she'll still join your team. Okay. So those times that they give me a lot of peace, and maybe that's what I need, because I will ruminate over things or mistakes, or I should have done this or should have said that. Maybe you know, it's my fault, that person, not my customer. You know what? That it's not going to make or break my business. There are plenty of faces out there and plenty of women out there who are looking for what we have. The old adage, some will, some won't. So what? Someone's waiting, and God must have a better idea. So that's mine.
Amen. Mine kind of goes along with that. Not everybody likes juicy fruit gum. You know, if you're on an airplane, none of us have been on an airplane for a while for sure, but if you're on an airplane and, you know, the person next to you, their ears start popping like they're like having a little bit of pain, you know, what's the first thing that sometimes we do? We just get some gum and ask her if she'd like to eat some gum to kind of relieve that pressure. And if she says, no, I'm not into chewing gum right now, but thank you very much. We don't get offended by that, right? We did what we're supposed to do. We offered her juicy fruit gum and she just didn't really want it right now. Or she might go, oh gosh, that sounds great. I'm just going to save it for later. I'm going to put one in my purse and I'll save it for later. So I think it's the same thing with offering the Mary Kay opportunity. I just think it's a great analogy. I think we have to offer our opportunity. We have to tell people. I think our job, Mary Kay said, to pass it on. And that's how this business has grown. And not everybody's going to want what you have to offer, but at least they'll know. And at least you gave them you treated them with the respect that Mary Kay would have you treat them, and said, just let me share with you some facts about the business. This may or may not be something for you, because you never know where that one person, and gosh, in our 63 years, right, Susan, together, how many times have we shared with somebody that it took us someplace? They may have decided 3 years from now, or 4 years, or it may have been their sister, or they may have told us, like Mary Ann Lewis, the woman that kind of told me about Mary Kay the first time. It took me 4 years to recruit her, and because she kept saying she didn't want juicy fruit gum, but 4 years later she decided she wanted some juicy fruit gum, and she went on to earn 2 Mary Kay cars. So I think our job is, and that's the added value, and that kind of goes along with, it's kind of like two gums in one. What is that? Double mint gum. Okay, double mint gum. Because that's how we add value to people's lives, is to let people know and respect them enough that we want to offer them the opportunity. Because you don't want to look at a list of names and go, no, she wouldn't be interested. This wouldn't be for her. No, I don't want to offer it to her. No, she intimidates me. No, you go to every person and say, just let me share some facts. Let me just offer you some juicy fruit gum, and if you take it, that's great, and if you don't, then you can take a piece and share it with somebody else. So not everybody likes juicy fruit gum.
That's a good one. And you just made me think of this before I go on to my number 4. We each have 5. And you just made me think of Sue Kirkpatrick's verbiage on that. I'm big on words and scripts, and it's not like you have to be totally scripted, but I like knowing, what would I say if she said this, or what would I say? And so it takes away a lot of fear if I know what I would say in most circumstances. And Sue's words were to the effect of, Teresa's like, I would just love to share this with you, because it would break my heart if I discovered that this could have blessed you and your family, and I hadn't even opened my mouth to tell you about it. And so I think that that's where it comes in, is a good segue into my number 4, which is to always have a servant's heart, to be others focused. That old golden rule is so great. And boy, I wish the rest of the world, especially now, would just be really living by that golden rule and treating others the way they want to be treated. And that we could go into a whole conversation about how that would be so great during times such as this. But that golden rule is always such a great adage and great mantra to live by. So having a servant's heart, and how can I be that great Mary Kay representative? How can I represent all of us beautifully today? How can I be the only Bible somebody might ever read? But also, how can I stand out? How can I stand out from not necessarily just every Mary Kay consultant, but every other home-based business or other skincare or color company? And sometimes it's the simplest things. It's just, like Nora told us a couple weeks ago, don't let your customer call you before you call her. That was a 2x4 in the head moment for me. I'm like, gosh, I just wait until they need something and they call me. Well, that doesn't make me stand out. It makes Nora stand out, which is why she's been on the court of sales so darn many times. So, my husband and I often joke about it, that it takes so little these days, sadly, to stand out. But are you? Are you standing out? Are you the one that gets them their product right away? That makes them go, wow, you're faster than Jimmy John's. I had somebody say to me the other day. Do you throw in some little mints or lifesavers like Tracy does? Heck, when Tracy trades a product with me, she puts it in a little organza bag with candy. I mean, that's standing out just as a sister consultant. So little handwritten note. put it in your Mary Kay gift bags if you got some of those from MK Connections, or just, we've got a million gift bags, you guys. You never throw them away, do you? I don't. So keep them in your storage closet for your Mary Kay business, and instead of just putting it in a plastic bag and hang it on their door, put it in a gift bag, put tissue down in it, and spritz it with your favorite scent. Write a little handwritten, appreciate you with a heart or smiley face, throw in some candy or a little sample or something, but stand out. So have a servant's heart and stand out.
Love it, love it, love it. Well, and this kind of, some of what you said segues me right into the fortune is in the follow-up. And Nora's nodding because she knows that. She follows that practice. But honestly, besides being consistent, following up consistently with your clients is where you will build the relationships that will tie them to you for the rest of their lives. They'll want to tell their girlfriends about you. If they decide they want to be a consultant, they're going to do what you did, because here's the thought that you need to have is that, just like Susan said, when you're representing Mary Kay to your clients, and then you recruit one of them, they're going to do what you did. They're going to be the kind of consultant to their clients that you were to them. And that's exactly the lesson that you want to teach. So the fortune really is, and it's not just the financial fortune, and it is. I mean, that's where your money is, really, is in following up with your customers. You're not pestering them. We sometimes get that in our brain, but treat them like you want to be treated. And how would you want to be treated if you were somebody's Mary Kay customer? Would you want her to check on you in 2 days, 2 weeks, and 2 months? Would you want her to follow up with you? Would you want her to call you on your birthday? Would you want her to offer gift services to you and make you feel extremely special? So being able, and so the financial fortune, yes, but the relationship fortune, because your customers become your family. They become your friends. You get to know their sister, their mom. You get to many times, and I still love the fact that our business is based on being in the kitchen and being at their kitchen table and sharing with them and supping with them, right? I mean, that's really what relationships are built on. So the fortune, you guys, is in the follow-up. And you don't just give up. If you leave a call and they don't call you back, you leave another call. You send another text. You're not being a pest. You're doing for them what you told them at the beginning that you would be doing. I'll be calling you in a couple of days just to check on you and make sure that this is working appropriately. And then in 2 weeks, we can get back together again. You can get some of your girlfriends and you get some free product. So, and then I'll follow up with you. I'll give you a call every month or 2 months. What would be better for you? And then you ask them, how do you want to be serviced? And that's what we do. Fortune is in the follow-up.
Very good. Well, my last one, I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna throw in 3 little quotes, okay? The first one is, be a Mary Kay Minute Woman, okay? And that just means a party or a facial or a virtual event should not really be this big event, okay? It should be something that you're doing often enough that it ain't no thing. You can just, you've got your stuff ready within fingertips reach, and your systems are in place, so you can do one in an hour if you need to. So being a Mary Kay Minute Woman and being prepared, that is always helpful. But I can't get off of this call without 2 favorite quotes, and one of them is, you are where you are, but the choices you've made or you've allowed others to make for you, okay? And so if you want a different life, you need to make different choices, okay? That's big from Linda Tupin. And the last one is, we will remain the same until the pain of remaining the same is greater than the pain of change. And that's great. Those last 2 quotes are not just for Mary Kay, but they're for life. So if it's when staying exactly where you are gets uncomfortable, is when you will change, and when you will do the things that you fear the most, and just step out of that comfort zone. So Those are two of my favorites. I love the choices quote because it's so true. If you've got to make a different choice, and then if you're not loving where you are, you know, as Teresa said, frustration precedes growth. It's time to change and grow and do something different in your business. And that's where you can reach up and out. Always reach up is what we were told, you know, to your director, to your recruiter. You don't sit and commiserate and complain with people who are exactly where you are and feeling poor and pitiful. You want to reach up to people who are where you want to be, and that's who you take advice from. And those are my 5 or 6 or 7 because I kind of cheated. Some extras in there.
Well, I've got a little closing thing, and I'm going to cut it kind of in half because it's pretty long, but I just picked out some of my favorite things, and I'm not really sure who originally did this, but it's been around Mary Kay for a while, and it's called I am successful because I know that God gives me the ingredients for my daily bread, but he expects me to do the baking. I am successful because I realize that I cannot change where I'm from, but I can change where I'm going. I am successful because I know the people who are speaking into my life will determine what I speak into the lives of others. I am successful because I'm easy to start and hard to stop. I am successful because I give people more than they expect, and I do it cheerfully. I am successful because I am serving my purpose and not my problem. I am successful because when I think of others, I forget about myself, and that's when I do my best work. I am successful because my 16 by 20 size goal is backed by a 16 by 20 sized mindset. I am successful because every day I live a life of excellence. I am successful because I do more than I have to. Do what?
Teresa!
Did I go away?
Okay, well, she's successful because she checks her internet connection before she gets on the call.
Maybe she can.
That's weird. Okay, no, you all are frozen and I'm moving. Okay, that is good. All right, Susan. Okay, I'm still recording, so I'm going to say bye-bye.